Are you at school and you want to go home? Let's get you home. You're not gonna say that your stomach hurts or that you don't feel well, because they're just gonna take your temperature, see that you don't have a fever, give you a fucking Jolly Rancher, and send you back to class. We don't want to go back to class, but we can't get caught either, so you gotta set this up right. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna raise your hand in class and you're gonna ask to go to the bathroom. You're gonna be gone for 5 minutes. When you come back, you're gonna go up to the teacher and tell him or her, hey, I just got sick in the bathroom. They're gonna assume you vomited. That's fine. You don't want them to ask any further questions. They're gonna write you that hall pass and you're gonna go to the nurse. Now when you get to the nurse, you're gonna hope that nobody else is in that office. What you're about to look in this nurse's eyes and say will humble you. But nobody gets out of school without a little bit of pain. Not even Ferris Bueller. You're gonna tell her you have diarrhea. You're gonna tell her you just dropped a Mount Everest-sized deuce and that more is on the rise. She's gonna look at you and immediately tell you to sit down and that she's gonna call your parents. While you're sitting there, make sure to excuse yourself and go to the bathroom and spend 5 or 10 minutes in there, otherwise they're not gonna believe you. And that's it. They don't even take your temperature. They obviously don't ask for proof, because who would want proof of that? I pulled this maybe like 5 or 6 times. Every single time, my mom came and got me, except for once when they couldn't reach her. The only thing you have to sacrifice is a little bit of dignity. You're welcome. When I was a kid, as a punishment, my mom would constantly take my laptop away from me so that I couldn't interact with any of my friends or access the internet after school. At least that's what she thought. She eventually found out that I was accessing the internet through my old iPad, through my old DS Lite, through any means. Instead of having to remember every single device in existence to take from me, she started unplugging the Wi-Fi router. She thought she was being slick. But I'm smarter than her. I'm slicker. She makes a big deal one night about unplugging the Wi-Fi router and how she's gonna put it on top of the fridge, because if it's on top of the fridge, she can keep her eyes on it and she knows that I won't be able to plug it back in or do anything with it. I decide to wait her out until she goes off to bed. And when she goes off to bed, she says, don't even think about doing anything, because I'm gonna get up throughout the night and check on it to make sure it's still there. I say, yeah, okay, whatever. I wait an hour until I'm pretty sure that she is asleep. And then I go and I dig out our old Wii console. When you place the Wii console vertically, it looks a lot like the side of the Wi-Fi router, since both of them were white. I took down the Wi-Fi router and I put the Wii console up there. And then I just went back into my room and plugged in the router. I was on the internet all night until my mom had to get up for work at around 5 a.m. So then I went and switched it just in case. And it worked too. Periodically, I would hear her go walk into the kitchen and check and then go back and lay down. I utilized this multiple times. There were also times when she would just unplug a cord and be like, I'm taking the cord with me to work, the internet cord. She doesn't know anything about technology at all. Her internet cord was an HDMI cord. You know, we have hundreds of those laying around the house. I would just go unplug the HDMI cord from my TV and use it as the Wi-Fi's HDMI. Save your old consoles and keep backups of all types of cords. You can outsmart any narcissist any day. They do, and that's exactly what she thought after she did this. As a kid, my punishments were always ridiculous and out there. The older I got, the crazier they became. Most of the time, it was physical punishments, like spanking, hair pulling, the bell, that stuff. My brother and I ended up getting bigger, as kids do, and all that physical stuff wasn't working anymore, so she started to get more crafty, more crazy. This one weekend, I ran bad, in her eyes, at a cross-country race, and my mom thought that I shouldn't get to go out and hang with my friends, even though I already had plans. My dad told me, go ahead and go, you didn't do anything wrong, you ran fine. You know, he's a normal dad that understands that runners have ups and downs. My mom, no. My mom thinks that I ran bad on purpose just to spite her, so the last thing she's gonna do is let me go gallivanting with my friends after ruining her chance to brag about me on Facebook. She tells me, I don't care what your dad says, if you go out that door, I'm gonna do something. My mom's always gonna do something, so I said, yeah, whatever. I walk out the door, get in my car, and I go leave. Because my dad said I could. I start getting all these texts saying, you need to come home. You need to come home right now. I tell her, talk to your husband, because he said that it was okay. I'm a teenager. I'm thinking, why is everyone else allowed a bad race day and they can still go out, but I'm not allowed? That's when she sends me the most threatening text ever. If you don't come home, I'm gonna take a hammer to your computer. I think that she is bluffing. No way this woman is that far gone that she's gonna take a hammer to something she spent $500 on. No way. I was wrong. And this is honestly, this is when I started to really be afraid of her. When a parent can take out their anger on an object like that, because they know that that item is important to you, to me, that's the closest they can get to physically hurting you. She sent me a picture of my laptop with a hammer beside it. Now, there were some keys missing from the keyboard. From the picture, it looked like, she just pried up a bunch of the keys and is trying to act like she hit it. She didn't really hit it. Well, imagine my surprise when I got home and plugged it in and it looked like this. There's no saving her. There was no saving any of my reports. There is no saving any of my other homework, any of my book that I had been writing, or any of the songs that I had wrote down and only saved in the notes of this computer. Music that I have lost forever. Absolutely devastating. Now, I took this to a place and they said for $200 we might be able to retrieve the memory, but we're not completely sure. That's almost half the cost of the laptop. I never paid it. Everything that was on here, I never got back. My mom knew what was on there. She knew I was a writer. She knew what my aspirations were, and she destroyed them. She made sure that the only thing I had to focus on is running, because that's what got her attention. Again, I don't want my mom thinking this page is all about her because that's a narcissist's wet dream. So here are 10 more things that my dad did that he forgot. Well, kind of hard to remember when you're in a whole dad, but you get the point. This is in no particular order, but I'll start at number 1. Asking me details about my sex life. Even when I was a child. Conversations I probably should have been having with my mom, I'd have with him. But he'd take it too far and ask for detail. And then even tease me about it. Number 2 is he would make jokes about me being intimate. Even as young as 16. 3 is the time he accidentally saw my private area and he called it cute. I had been sitting up on a kitchen countertop and I guess the angle of my legs allowed you to see right up my shorts. So he motioned for me to get down from the counter. I thought he just didn't want me on the kitchen counter. But I found out later it's because he could see all my stuff, because he told me to my face. But he told me not to worry about it, because it looked cute. I'm moving on. Number 4 is he would make a big deal about my butt. Ever since I was young, he would rank it out of 1 through 10. I've already told you guys about that before, but I'm telling you, if I wear jeans, he would always point out my butt. Oh, you should wear denim more. Your butt looks so good in tight denim. You're my father! What is wrong with you? But he wasn't hitting me, so I flocked to him, right? He would tell me this in-depth story about how he used to clean my area when I was a toddler, but how I laughed at one point when he was cleaning it, and I said, oh, that tickles, because it's a sensitive area. There's nerves down there. He was probably rubbing on it too hard. Well, I guess that made him uncomfortable, and he made a big stink to my mom. I'm not washing her again. And my mom said, you have to wash her, or she'll stink. And he said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Why would you tell me that story? That's something that you don't need to tell me about. Thank you for doing the bare minimum of not essaying me when you realized you were causing me to have a sensation there. Number 6 is when he showed me the Father Nelson joke. Just look that up. Number 7 is when he would rate random women's backsides in public and rank those out of 10, sometimes even when they were in earshot. Number 8 is how he would tell me in detail about cheating on my mom. They would call it roadside assistance. You know why? Because he was a truck driver, and this woman would follow him for miles across many state lines, just because every few hours he would pull his semi over, and they would go on the other side of it, blocking their view from the highway so cars wouldn't see him, and he would give her roadside assistance. You can guess what they mean by that. Finally, number 9 is when he told me that if women don't want men to look, then don't wear tight clothes. There's babies that get essayed. Was the diaper too tight? Yeah, my dad's sick. If you want more, let me know, because I got many. Jess, I think those 2 girls are from your class. Okay. I think it's Molly and Sarah. Oh, come on, Jess, give me the fucking book. Put it away. Okay, God. This is embarrassing. How am I being embarrassing? They're out here shopping like girls their age and you're here reading a fucking book. I was just looking at the back cover. You just bought it for me. I'm excited to read it. This is exactly why they think you're weird. That's odd. Last night she called them little bitches and that I shouldn't care what they think. Well, am I supposed to care or not? What was that? Nothing. Hi, I'm here to pick up my daughter. Hi, Linda. She's gathering her things and she'll be right with you, okay? Hey, Jessie. Oh, hi. Hi, are you going on a trip? Oh, yeah. Well, I hope you have a nice time. Oh, thank you. Jess, speak up. She can hardly hear you. Thank you. It's okay, you're welcome. Why did you do that? Do what? That girl was trying to talk to you and you over here mumbling. Thank you. No wonder you don't have any friends. I wouldn't come up and talk to you either. Don't I wish that were true? According to James Cameron, the people on the sub were aware what was about to happen. He gave an interview, and in that interview, James said that they dropped the ballast and were attempting to ascend, so they knew something was wrong. I quickly did research to verify this, and here's what I found. The Titan had emergency measures for ascending. We know that after 24 hours, it would immediately resurface. That's because you could drop weights and emergency ballast in the form of sandbags and pipes. Sandbags, as well as the heavy pipes that they can also drop, were carried on this landing fairing. The landing fairing was the legs. This is where where it gets really fucked up. Fairing was found, but it was found a few hundred feet away from the Titanic. This indicates to us that the sandbags and the pipes were dropped so that they could start their ascent. The location of the fairing was found several feet away from the other parts. Okay, so they were trying to ascend. Why does this matter? Why does it matter that they dropped two things? Well, James said that the OceanGate sub had sensors on it that gives them a warning when there's something that's about to happen, like damage to the structural integrity of the hull. He said it means they probably had a warning that their hull was starting to delaminate, starting to crack. We understand from inside the community that they had dropped their ascent weights and they were coming up trying to manage an emergency. This means that the sensor went off, so the CEO did what he's supposed to do and he dropped those sandbags, assuming he can see the pressure gauge or something on those monitors, right? Like he has to be able to see something about the sub to know what was happening to it. Why do we need to ascend? Why is the sensor going off? He could probably see that pressure gauge.